Welcome to Power Mondays. Blue Mondays are a thing of the past. Your Mondays will never be the same again. We enter our weeks with energy. This is Empowerment Podcast. We are here to empower you, to inspire you, and to equip you. You are chilling with Nompilo Gumede, the powerhouse. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Power Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. The autumn is getting chilly now in this side of KZN. I hope you're keeping warm and you had a rested time with your loved ones. I hope your to-do list for this week is ready, because Mondays mean perspective, means starting up on the right foot. Let's get ourselves together and own this week. We will conquer with God by our side. This past week has been a blessing. Thank you so much for your feedback. I had Dr. Yenzi last week, and you gave me so much feedback on how you enjoyed her show and how you enjoyed her testimony and how you enjoyed what she had to say. This week, I'm also not going solo. I've got another powerhouse, and I'm sure that you're going to be blessed. So please tune into all our shows. We come to you from Monday to Sunday. Make sure that you don't miss any show on the Empowerment Podcast. And the nice thing is you can always go back and listen to our previous shows if you've just found out. And thank you to all those who share the link with their friends on social media, because we're getting new listeners every day. And let me not forget that the Empowerment Podcast has been voted as the most educational podcast. So thank you for loving us and for tuning in and for staying with us and for sharing with your friends and family, because we are growing. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Don't miss another episode. We are available on TikTok. Please follow us. We'll follow you back. We are also on Facebook. We are #Empowerment Podcast. We've got a group there. Please join that group. And on Instagram, we are empowerment_podcast. We also have a WhatsApp number where you can give us your reviews. You can actually give us your reviews and your feedback on any social media platform. But we also on WhatsApp. Our number is 065-615-6641. Don't forget tomorrow to tune into the Empowerment Talk Show. And on Wednesday, we have James Velagazi, who will give us purpose-driven. And on Thursday, we have Victorious Living. On Friday, we have Pioneers of Greatness. On Saturday, we have Youthful and Impact Show. And on Sunday, we have the ladies who do the Soulful Talk Sunday. So we are always ready to give you the best of our shows, and we always want you to be empowered on a daily basis. So as I've said, that this is Nompilo, the powerhouse. Today I'm bringing you an author, an amazing entrepreneur, she's in the corporate sector. She's just an amazing, she's also a singer, guys. Like, I was asking her the other day, how do you manage to do it? And knowing that previously it was World Book Day. Welcome, Nox, to the show.
Oh, what a wonderful welcome. Thank you so much, Queen. Yeah. And hello to your listeners. It's such a great honor to me to have made it to this as a guest to this show of yours. Empowerment Podcast. I have been blessed by previous guests, and as one of your Empowerment Podcast fans, I have been immensely inspired by all of them. I love it because even though it's a Monday morning, sometimes it's rushed. I can always chill even on a Tuesday and sit and listen and catch up. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for allowing us to have a chat with you. And I've been seeing you that you've been a follower of Power Monday. You even comment on the shows. I highly appreciate your support. It's amazing when women show each other support, you know, when women lift each other, one another up. It's just amazing.
Indeed, it is an absolutely awesome thing.
Yes. So, Nox, welcome to the show. I would just like you to just break down everything now. Share to us about your background, who you are, because you're doing many amazing things.
Thanks once again. I love the Lord. I am a daughter of the King. Our Father God has me in his hands all the time. And I am a servant leader in the spaces that I lead in. I am a humble daughter and a loving wife.
Yes.
I am a mother, a real parent to 4 wonderful children. I have two big boys and 1 big girl, and I have 1 teenager. So I have 4 people in my life that I had to raise, and God has been good in my marriage, being a blended family. God has been awesome. He's been so wonderful in giving us grace with my loving husband Nompilo to raise these 4 children. Yes, I went to school. I've got a marketing degree, and actually currently I'm a student of psychology.
Really?
I think you will hear why. Yes.
Wow.
As we unfold our podcast with the Queen. Yes, so I then grew up in the humble beginnings in Lamontville. I was born and bred by Reverend Emmanuel Ngubane and Mrs. Tina Ngubane, wonderful, awesome parents.
Wow.
Although they grew up under very difficult circumstances, my dad being an orphan and my mom coming from deep rural at Umsinga. They managed to raise us very, very well with my siblings. I have 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
And you know, I have learned that I have to be humble. I have to be a serving person. So throughout my life at school, all the way to university, I studied at the University of Technology, Marketing, and I finished at UNISA. I then joined about a handful of multinationals throughout my career.
Wow.
And I started as a promotional manager with the Spa Group, and I continued to the Unilevers, the Kraft Foods, which is now called Mondelez, and Colgate Palmolive, and all day I've been working as started as a regional, but now I've eventually became a national customer development manager.
Oh, congratulations!
And, thank you. So throughout that, it has taught me how to run a business, because when you deal, you kind of run a business within a business. When you are a key accounts, because many people knows it as a key accounts manager position. So it helps you and builds your confidence and all the skills that you need to become an entrepreneur. So I was blessed to be in those spaces. And in 2013, I joined Tess Holding fish and chips business. Okay. And I had 3 franchises.
That's you now being an entrepreneur.
That's me now being an entrepreneur. Yes. And I did well. I did very well, but unfortunately, I had a demise into 2015. You remember that we had lots of load shedding at that time. It was beginning and it was hitting my cash flows. I tried to stay up in business, but after about 8 months, I realized that I need to cut my losses and try and keep all my assets that I've worked hard for with my husband, Ukabashe. And I then went back to corporate now, because I can't keep my hands doing nothing, point number 1. and I was responsible to make sure that I maintained the lifestyle of my family. I couldn't just let them and not have the things that I would like them to do, especially the children, good education and all that. So I went back to corporate, but I never stopped, because during that time when I had those demises, God came to me, and I've been asking questions to him, and I was saying, but Lord, I've lost my businesses now. I don't know what to do. I'm in such a dark place. But Lord said to me, look around you and pick one thing that is going well for you. It's not because that you have lost your businesses, that everything else has been lost. Not all is lost. So I looked around, and I looked at my family, I looked at my children, I said, wow, God has been good. And immediately the title of my first book came into my mind. And he said to me, you are an ordained parent. And
wow, I was actually going to ask about that you founded Ordained Parents Movement. And yes, please go deeper into that.
Yes. So that's when I started penning down the book. And you, as a writer, as an author, they will concur with me. Sometimes you start by writing your script, maybe your structure of how your book is going to flow, and you strategize on how the book will be presented to your readers. But for me, I got a title first, and I had to work backwards, because I had to unpack what is God saying to me, because I know only the ministers get ordained. Only the pastors get ordained, not parents. But God was so good to me. I started unpacking it. And before I could even finish the book, I then founded Ordained Parents Movement.
Oh, yes.
I felt like it's important to engage with parents, especially mothers, because mothers are the first people that the children experience in their lives, because they lactate on you and they're always on your lap, and you are the first person actually who will conceive and be with a child from the early stages of a child's life. So then I opened those forums, and we had chats. And that's where I realized that it's important that I do further my knowledge within psychology. And the good thing is that I've been basing my book on Christian values, and I've been studying psychology. Informally, I've been studying immensely on what is that sphere, mental health, emotional health. What is that sphere telling us about how we can raise our children better? And so I have to
this
also
is profound.
on the principle. It is, because if you do not understand yourself, you will not be in a position to understand the next person and be able to help and serve the next person. So all about serving our children, and my whole life I've always been a humble servant wherever I go, and I felt that God was giving a continuity on that narrative of how I have lived my life.
Not just on that, do you not feel that if you call yourself a servant of your children, is that not spoiling them? Can you just please differentiate between being a servant of your children, because we also do not want to spoil them? Can you just explain how you draw the line between servants and spoiling your kids?
Yes, when you serve, you first have to model. You first have to love unconditionally, and model.
Yes.
And those are the examples that the Lord Jesus Christ have shown us. in his very, very short life, that he must love. He loved us, and then he served us. And he never in any way spoiled us rotten by telling us that it's okay to do bad things, to do evil. He gave us the right principles of life and how we should live life in the fullest. But at the same time, remembering that whatever that we do for others, we're doing them back to us. So you serve your children because you guide them, you teach them. That's a servant attitude. Because you can't be pompous towards your children, because that's what you will get in return. Rebellious children, you have to be disciplined, because if you're not, that's what they do. The children learn from observation rather than from the things that we say. So that's how servant parenthood is coming from. And that's how God has ordained us to be, to love and to do the works, his works, the way that he has intended for us to raise the children. That is the reason why I say you must be a servant to your children. Because remember, you are not dealing with just the objects. You are dealing with a human being fully fledged with emotions, and maybe the mind is not that much developed, but the emotions are the most critical part, and the spirit that works with the soul is the most critical part that you have to nourish and help your children manage, especially in the beginning of their lives. So you remember, people will say, you will always remember how people made us feel. So if you look at that, children, that's all they remember, how we made them feel, irregardless of what had happened.
Powerful, Nox. Very powerful. I'm actually thinking I'll call you again. We'll set up another show where you will just talk about children. I'm actually going to have a series on this. I love what you're saying right now. And I feel like we must just teach parents these things, because it's not things that we know when we're growing up, because our mothers know about this, and it's not general knowledge. So I'm going to have sessions now going forward of parenting, and so this is another topic for another day. But back.
Thank you. I will stop there.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to know more about you, on the things that you your impopoma yolwazi, and I know that you sing, and I know that you're doing the most amazing things. So for today, can we just profile you, and then in the next show I'll just arrange, because this is powerful stuff. I'm not saying it's not important, but I think it needs more.
I understand completely.
Okay.
Yes. Back to the topic of the day.
No, the topic of the day was ordained parents. Also share about your other book. You've written another book on relationships.
Yes, I have. It's titled A Sound System of a Marriage Language. So it's just based on some illustrations through vowels, just to guide us on how we should run communication. See, I am a teacher by purpose. And I remember when I was young, I used to say, when people ask me, parents and everybody ask me, what are you going to become when you are bigger? And I said, I'm going to be a teacher.
Yes.
But life unfolded. I was never a teacher, like standing in front of pupils and teaching. I found myself in corporates. I found myself doing all the other things. And now I have came to realize that indeed I am a teacher. So in my book, I teach on how to communicate, because it's the basis of everything that's happened within the marriage. If you pray, you are communicating. If you're meditating, you are communicating. You communicate on finances, you communicate on the meals, you communicate on the culture of the house, you communicate on running the household, you communicate on children, everything else. And if you think about it, all the results for divorces, they emanate from just communication. That's where they come from. So that is the reason why I wrote that book. I'm gonna be 15 years in marriage.
Wow! Congratulations.
And yes, thank you. God has been good, and I thought, let me share what God has put in my heart about this, about managing marriages in a godly way. And then I think it must have been in 2019, beginning of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. We founded, I'm a founding member of a group called Impopomo Yolwazi Authors House.
How do you serve there?
Yes, I serve there as a chair lady.
Oh, so you founded it?
No, I didn't found it. I happened to be elected as a chair lady. What's our president, who is Nelly Mkize, and the other ladies that had founded it with her. What we've been trying to do, obviously, it's still in the early ages. We got disrupted by lockdown in 2020. So some of our activities did not materialize as we had wished. But we stand for protecting the rights of the authors and everything that is written word. We promote them, we help them build them, because we are far behind, like in any other economic sphere. Publishing and authorship within the Black community is far behind. We first need to develop readers. And that's a lot of work, because we can write all these books, but if we do not have people to read these books, we have not made justice to ourselves. So that's one other thing. We partner with other organizations that's like Abantu Readers Movement, to try and develop the culture of reading. Because
that's lovely.
When we can then extend ourselves and open up our markets, because at the end of the day, we are in the business of books, and we need to see gains through the income and the turnover that we make as we write books and sell books. So Impopomo is all about that.
Okay. You are also a singer. Can you please share more? I don't know where you get the time to do all these wonderful things that you do.
You see, there's a before I answer you on my singing life, Proverbs 3 verse 8.
Yes.
It says, this will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. And I have lived with that. It's actually on my WhatsApp profile, because I feel like God, if you are properly aligned with Him, and you are serving your purpose that you were brought to do, so you're covering all your assignments, it's not going to happen all at once. Believe you me, but you eventually get there, because your vision and the purpose is aligned with the one whom sent you to do such assignments, and the one who have given you these gifts. So you can't give me all these gifts and then you leave me stranded with not giving me the energy that I deserve to run with these gifts. So I hope that answers you.
Yes, it has.
Where do I get this time?
Yeah.
Yes. So the Holy Spirit runs in my veins and is a glue on my joints and a powerful energizer on my muscle. And you think that, because we are a DNA of heaven, and you think that we are just flesh. Unfortunately, we are not. If the spirit is not feeling the flesh, there is nothing that the flesh can do.
Sure.
Yes, I'm a singer.
Yes.
I've just recorded my first single. It's going to come out on the 30th of April.
Oh, wow. In a couple of days. Congratulations.
That is in a couple of days. Yes, next week. Yes.
Oh.
So how come this song came about to me when writing? Because I said, God, you have given me these wonderful topics to write on, powerful, and I am so humble. But I would like to walk the talk. And that's basically why I wrote this song. And if you read on Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 29, it says, this is all that I have learned. At the beginning of this chapter, it says, a good name is better than perfume. That's one. But you go down to the last verse, it says, this is all that I have learned. God made us plain and simple. But we have made ourselves very complicated.
Yeah.
But I like it even more with the version of NIV. It says, God created mankind upright.
Yeah.
And that's a direct translation of ubuqotho.
Oh,
upright.
yes.
But they have gone in search of many schemes. So we go astray and do our own things and forget that God has given us one thing that was inborn in us: uprightness, righteousness. We have now deterred from that. So my song came about in that context, and I have been a singer since, I don't know, when I opened my eyes, because my father, being a minister of the word, he used to just call us up on stage, and we had to make sure that we've got some song to do. And we sang as a family at home, evening devotions. We all had time to do devotions, and we sang as a family. My mom and dad are also good singers themselves. And I grew up in that culture. And I think many of us who are Christian would attest to that. And for a while now, we have been having a group, well, since we were young with my sisters. Our group was called the Father's Diamond.
Okay.
Father's Diamonds. And I've been asking them, in fact, all of us, we've been, you know what we need to do? We need to do a music project. We have to do a music project. But as we grow up, location-wise, I was in Johannesburg, they were in Durban. It was just not working. At some point, one is getting married. At some point, one is at school doing a postgrad somewhere. So it ended up, coming up together. And then I said, you know what, sisters, let me get started.
Yeah.
Find me along the way.
Wow. Wrapping up, Nox, how can we get your album, your books, and how can we get you on social media?
So I'm available on social media as Facebook first, as Nokuthula Xulu.
Yes.
And on Instagram, I am Nox_Xulu, Twitter the same.
Yes.
And I'm available on WhatsApp, 072-940-3356, 072-940-3356. That's my WhatsApp, where you can just drop a note and I can make sure that you get your books.
Yes.
And yes, you can also go to Adams in West Street. And I think, that's what you can get.
This is Durban, West Street, Durban.
West Street, Durban, yes. Yeah. Thank you for clarity. And in terms of my single, it's going to be available in all digital music platforms from next week, Friday. 3 o'clock onwards, it will be available.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. We'll post, when we post the posters, we'll actually tag you as well on your social media platform so that your followers will also not miss what you've had to share. It's been an honor hosting you on Power Monday. I feel so inspired, and thank you so much for coming through, and thank you so much for the hard work that you do. We look up to you, and we see that it's possible to raise kids, to be in corporate, to be an entrepreneur, and to sing as well. And you're just doing amazing. We thank God for you, and thank you so much for coming to Power Monday. May God richly bless you.
Thank you so much. Go out there and utilize all your gifts. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Happy Monday, listeners. Have a blessed week.